Thanks for tuning in to the GenStrong Nexus. I'm Micah. Today we are working on this 2007 Yamaha XT225. Liam is zooming in here, he's my cameraman. And what we're doing is we just took off this 10mm bolt. Guys, remember when you're working with JDM stuff, half the time it's 10mm, the other half the time it's a 12mm. So always grab a 10mm, they're always good to have. So anyway, we take this out and you can see that this clutch lever just comes right out. Now all you got to do is rotate this over 180 degrees, get in there with some needle nose pliers, and we should be able to pull out this cable that sits in there. And we don't want to chew up our cable, guys, so if this doesn't come out right away, then we're going to figure out another method. So that should slide right out just like that. And then we're going to take our other cable, because the guy that I bought this from, a lot of dirt bike riders do this. They bend these up so that their finger hooks in there when they're wearing gloves, and they usually just clutch with 1 or 2 fingers. But I have big hands and a better reach, so I bought these OEM XT225 handles. So now we're gonna have these as a backup, but I'm gonna go back to the original knobbed, knurled end on the bottom there, because I like the look. I think it's a little better to have a OEM look as well as that extra length, because I don't like this. I'm not a racer, guys. I don't care about this kind of stuff. So we're going to the part 2 of this video, because we're actually going to change out both levers, and we'll show you how we do that. Pretty simple process here. So stay tuned for part 2. The next portion of this video, we're going to disassemble our brake as well. Guys, on these old dirt bikes, they're not automatic. You have a clutch on the left handle, you have a brake on the right handle, and then you have a foot brake down here where this actuation motion is happening. So remember, when you take this 10mm off, you do have spacers and a lock nut on the other side. So I just put my hand on this bottom side, so when we take this off, we don't lose our washer and our nut on the bottom. And when that comes out, set that in our magnet dish, and this should thread right out. Now, these aren't just regular M6 or M7 bolts. These actually have these spacers, and I'll show you what this one I already took out. See this one? See those spacers there? How you have that portion that's not threaded? And that's because this cylindrical part here has to have a space to actually move on and not chew up some threading. So now that we got both of these out, we know that our long one's going to be on the right and our short one's going to be on the left. It's a good thing to pay attention to, guys. You don't want to mess that up. Now we'll go in with our OEM handle, and we will stick our cable back in here. Sometimes you got to use pliers, but I think that I'm just going to be able to snap it in just like that. Ma'am, can you get under here and show them how that's done? Guys, it's really straightforward. This just sits in there. I'll do it one more time here. So here's our cable. All you do, is this a good view for them? Yeah. You set this up and you just rock back here, and I'm just going to do a rotation, set in, and then we're going to put our hardware back, and it's really that simple. So we're going to stick this one live and just do this in one. Set them in here. So take your short side, run through, and we should be able to knock that down a little bit. Set our wrench back to tighten. Now guys, I use Icon a lot. They're the premium tool from Harbor Freight. Again and again and again, I've tested them personally. I've been a mechanic now for coming up on 2 years, and I've been doing the trades for 5. Out of all my short expertise that I have, there is nothing like Icon, but today I am using this Titan. Titan also has a lifetime warranty, but that's a 3/8 and 1/4 inch stubby flip bit. So nice for little dirt bike projects like this. I can fit everything in my magnet dish, and it's pretty much all I need. We're not torquing things down very hard. So this little guy, this little stubby is perfect, fits in your pocket, and it's, you know, it's got your 2 major sizes, which is awesome. So now we will move on to this other side, and we'll torque these down once we're finished here. So this thing should go exactly the same way. So this is going to be our brake lever, and we do have hardware in this one that we don't want to lose, right? You can go ahead and stop the video. Portion of the video, we're going to take this original hardware on this cut and put it over on our new OEM full length here. This is, again, really straightforward, but some people, they just want to get walked through it. So, you know, that's kind of what we're doing today, and I like making these videos. My cousin Liam's helping me out with the behind the scenes, and we're both into the YouTube scene, so honestly pretty enjoyable stuff. And we're here in the shop, my great-grandfather's shop, which is a privilege to be working here today. Generational family heirlooms all around us today. So this threaded portion is just a nut with a bolt going through it there. and that's our spacer is backed out all the way. So we're gonna do the same thing for the reassembly. And here is the process. This is gonna come out, and this one is gonna get discarded. They're great backup handles, you know, they still work. I just don't like the look. I'm trying to make this bike OEM. It's in mint condition, less than 2,000 miles on it. And we wanna make sure everything is primed and proper. So here we go with the reassembly. So this is gonna be facing this way, and the bolt is gonna go through this side, which is coming through the right side when facing the bike. Or I'm sorry, when you're in line with the bike. Now we're gonna get our Phillips, and we're going to start tightening down, and then we're gonna tighten that down, and then we're going to place our spring in here, and that's the only two parts that we need because the cable's already attached here. I'm sorry, the bolt that goes through here is already attached to the bike. So we'll go into the next portion of the video, and I'll show you how we do that. Okay, so we're actually gonna walk in here to the second portion of the shop, and I'm gonna show you what we do when the original hardware doesn't work out with our brake lever there. It's just a little bit oversized. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna open up our tools here, and in here, luckily I bought this years ago, and I absolutely love it. It's this tap and die set. So in here, we're gonna be able to tap that new brake lever to the correct size. Looks like some things are flying around in here, man. So we will find what we need, and then I will keep you guys updated, and we will move forward from there and show you how we tap this out so that this original piece of hardware fits in there perfectly. So stay tuned for the next part. All right, guys, the next portion of this video here, this is our jig that actually sets our, I don't know what you call these, pitch thread adapters or something. So this little knob fits here in the center. So that'll go in like this, and we will set it in place by using this set screw here. So that should fall right in place right there. And all we have to do is set this in place, and we'll find that little recessed concave action and lock that little jig in place. So I'm gonna tighten all these down to set that perfectly for us, and we should be good to go. Make sure they're all snug. Don't need to over tighten anything, guys. Set the screwdriver back up. And now we can run this in and rethread this bolt. So all I'm gonna do is take a Phillips head, probably the largest one that I have. Might be this shorty. There we go. And then we're just gonna start perfectly threading this old bolt in through this M6 1.0. We are going to rethread this old bolt to fit in our new handle. So I'll keep you guys posted when this is done here. All right, guys, it's hot in the shop. We're getting our sweat on here for sure, but once you get these rethreaded, you make sure you pull them out perfectly straight, and you should have a rethreaded piece of hardware. And now we will check our threads by running it into our existing handle, and it threads right in. Guys, we are good to go. Now we will go add this to the bike, and pretty much 90% of the way done with this project here. So let's go onto the bike here now. All right, guys, so we got that freshly tapped piece of hardware in there now. It goes in that way, and we're going to take this recessed part and face it down. You can't really mess this up. It goes in just like so, and we are going to go in with our spring. We should make sure that we have some back pressure going in there. Guys, let's see everything where our spring needs to be, etc., etc. I believe we are good right about there. Now we will grab a piece of hardware, go through. There we go. Awesome. Get a little brake check. Awesome. See that? And now that that's checked, now we can torque that down with our 10 mil here, just like that, and put our bolt. I'm sorry, our nut on the other side, right here. And guys, once we wrench that down, that is it. So we tighten everything down. And here we have an actual working clutch lever now. Look at that reach, it's so much better, guys. It looks a lot better too. So slowly but surely, we're redoing this entire bike. You know, we did the oil change the spark plug, cleaned everything out, rebuilt the carburetor. I straightened out the lights, and then I just did these clutch levers, and then at the end of this video, kind of the end it, we're just going to slap these new grips on. And it's just going to give this thing a refresh. It's not a complete rebuild like we're going to do with this 1970 CT90, but this is already a beautiful bike, and we just wanted to make it more presentable and better for the rider. I got this little phone holder on here, and I just drive this thing around. Me and my wife hop on it, we just put around the block, or we go up to the lake and stuff like that. So cool little bike, and this is kind of how we refresh it. And I'm just kind of keeping you guys posted what we're doing here on the property. Remember, this is called the GenStrong Nexus. We have YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, all of it, right? So if you guys want to come check us out, go to GenStrongNexus.com or GenStrongNexus for any of the social medias that I listed previously, and we will check out what we're doing. We are specialized in HVAC, automotive, electrical, and welding, and we are a nexus for sane and sober business. So if you need somebody to come and work on your house and you need them to be trustworthy, give us a call. If I can't do it myself or my team can't do it themselves, we have local businesses, some businesses that have existed for 50 years down here in the valley that give you fair pricing. They're not weirdos, and basically I can back them. I've shook the hands of these owners themselves. So let us know what you guys are thinking, and hopefully you'll watch us grow and boom into hopefully a place where we can have community and young men can learn how to work, and we can have the older generation leave legacy by training up the newer generation. Guys, the trades are dying, and young men are having a really hard time. Old men are having a really hard time. So we pray for this ministry to boom into a place where guys can learn how to work and they can be poured into. You know, there's a lot of fatherless homes, there's a lot of addiction, there's a lot of laziness, and we really need these young men to have backbone and provide for their families and build a future that we believe in and what the Bible says that we need to do. So with that, I'm just going to leave you guys to the next video. Hopefully you enjoyed this one. And if you have any questions, that's all this is. We're making these videos just to show you guys who we are, what we're doing, and what we're all about. Thank you guys. Stay tuned for the next video.